what do you have to say about your tweet directly to New Yorkers right now?
It's heartbreaking. All of this is happening in the Middle East. It's heartbreaking, bro. It is. You know, people are dying. Civilians are dying. Do you condemn Israel for that? Do you condemn Israel for their unjust acts against the innocent Palestinians? Sir, I'm talking to him.
We got the publicist over here.
I'm talking to him.
We gotta go. Don't say anything that's gonna your campaign. And that's why you don't have my vote, and I guarantee you, you don't have the vote of a lot of New Yorkers.
Sir, I have just one question.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel for Yang because he is getting the Trump treatment from the left. Okay, we all know that, you know, if you don't agree 100% with what the left wants, they're gonna criticize you and they're gonna go after you, right? And they've been going after Yang heavy. Okay, not just some of the super woke progressives because Yang is not woke enough for them, but also the Democrat establishment because Yang is not an establishment politician. Okay, and he's running for probably one of the most important power seats in the Democrat Party, right? The mayor of New York City. Okay, the mayor of New York City. And at least up until this point, he's been winning. Okay, he's been winning. And they've come after him hard, right? They've criticized him for almost everything. Okay, I'm serious. He is actually really getting the Trump treatment, whether you like him or not. I'm just saying that objectively. Now, the right also doesn't like Yang, even though they used to like him when he first ran, because now, you know, Yang has been critical of Trump. And, you know, Yang already had some fringe ideas that were not necessarily compatible with the traditional right. Okay. And so he's lost support from those that liked him on the right. And then he's lost support from those who liked him on the left. Okay. He's just one of those guys that really can't win. And apparently with the left, he really put his foot in his mouth when he started tweeting about this Israel-Palestine conflict that has come back up like it does basically every 3 or 4 years. Yang tweets about it, showing his support for Israel, and AOC, right, the number one loudmouth progressive, comes after him for this tweet. So let's read a little bit more about the Democrat infighting. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rips Andrew Yang for chest-thumping Israel statement and mocked his rejection from a Ramadan event. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez criticized fellow Democrat Andrew Yang, a New York City mayoral candidate, for his statement in support of Israel amid the most deadly conflict between Israel and Palestine in years. Ocasio-Cortez expressed solidarity with Queens organizers who disinvited Yang from a Ramadan-related event on Tuesday following his pro-Israel statement. Quote, utterly shameful for Yang to try to show up to an Eid event after sending out a chest-thumping statement of support for a strike killing 9 children, especially after his silence as Al-Aqsa was attacked, she stated. But then to try that in Austria during Ramadan, they will let you know. Now, I believe that this is a part of AOC's district. Okay, so that's part of the reason why she is speaking out on this. But what's funny is that Nancy Pelosi and some other Democrats have said statements that were very similar to Yang's, but she didn't criticize Pelosi for her statement. Okay, she just went after Yang, who happens to be running for mayor of New York. I'm guessing because he's not woke enough for them. Israeli airstrikes killed 30 Palestinians, including 10 children, and injured 230 others, Gaza health officials reported on Tuesday night. At least 3 Israelis have been killed and 100 have been wounded by Hamas rocket attacks. Yang said he believed he was asked not to attend the event, which involved distributing groceries ahead of Eid, because of his position on Israel. Quote, the organizers of the event decided it would be better if we did not attend, and we were happy to abide by their wishes, he told supporters Tuesday. So basically he, tweeted this pro-Israel tweet, and people got mad, right? And they disinvited him from this Eid event in which, he was distributing groceries, right? Showing his support, right? For the holiday, the Muslim holiday. Again, it reminds me of when there was the kind of the bike ride and vigil for Dante Wright, in which Yang tried to participate in the bike ride and going to the park, basically a Black Lives Matter event. And when he got there, they kicked him out. They told him to go away, right? Even though he's trying to support, right? And they kicked him out because apparently Yang, again, wasn't woke enough. He talked about how, they probably shouldn't defund the police, how defund the police is not a good idea. Now, some people say he's kind of flip-flopped on that. Some people on the right said that Yang, has supported defunding the police. People on the left are saying that, Yang is not in favor of defunding the police. He's actually in favor of increasing funding for the police. Again, guys, the moral of this story is really, you can't please everybody. You just can't please everybody. On Monday night, Yang tweeted out his staunchly pro-Israel statement. Quote, "I'm standing with the people of Israel who are coming under bombardment attacks and condemn the Hamas terrorists," Yang wrote. "The people of New York City will always stand with our brothers and sisters in Israel who face down terrorism and persevere." When Yang was confronted by a few New Yorkers in Austria, Queens on Tuesday, he called the conflict heartbreaking, but couldn't condemn Israel's airstrikes. This is the second time Ocasio-Cortez has publicly criticized Yang policy positions during his mayoral campaign, but the congresswoman has otherwise stayed out of the race. Again, I wonder why, right? I wonder why. AOC has not criticized anybody else, but she's decided to criticize Yang. Maybe because, again, he's not woke enough for the left. Like Dave Chappelle said, you can never be woke enough. And this is a prime example of that. A slew of conservatives, including a Republican Senator Ted Cruz, former Trump advisor Stephen Miller, and TV host Meghan McCain, praised Yang's comments. The hashtag Yang supports genocide trended on Twitter. Okay, and as you can see here, this is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's tweets. Progressives have also criticized President Joe Biden and his administration for not speaking more staunchly in defense of Palestinian civilians. A U.S. State Department spokesperson called for calm and urged both sides to de-escalate, refusing to comment on the civilian deaths. Senator Bernie Sanders, the Vermont progressive, called on the U.S. to speak out strongly against the violence by the government ally Israel extremists in East Jerusalem and the West Bank, and make clear that the evictions of Palestinian families must not go forward. "We stand in solidarity with the Palestinian residents of Sheikh Jarrah in East Jerusalem," Ocasio-Cortez tweeted on Saturday. "Israeli forces are forcing families from their homes during Ramadan and inflicting violence. It is inhumane, and the U.S. must show leadership in safeguarding the human rights of Palestinians." All right, guys, so as you can see, you have people on the left that's staunchly pro-Palestine, right? And you have people on the right that's staunchly pro-Israel. Now, in my opinion, guys, this is one of those international conflicts in which, the U.S. is allied with Israel because Israel serves as a strategic partner in the region. Now, there are some people that are critical of this partnership on the right, okay? They just see it as the U.S. sending more money overseas, right, to these foreign countries, okay, and, not doing enough for the American people. There are some people on the right that think that. But for the most part, people on the right are pretty pro-Israel, either because foreign policy reasons or because religious reasons, right? And then you have people on the left that are, pretty pro, Palestine because they see the occupation of that land by Israel as wrong, okay? And, my personal opinion, guys, is that I just think that there has to be a way for there to be a two-state solution, okay? But honestly, considering how, there's been violence in the Middle East for so long, I'm not sure if it's possible for, those two groups of people to actually live together peacefully, okay? But ideally, there should be a two-state solution. And, my whole point is that no matter which side you take, right, people are going to be upset, right? Even though, again, this doesn't really have that much to do with the U.S. Andrew Yang, who's running for mayor of New York City, doesn't have anything to do with what's going on in the Middle East. His policy positions are not really going to matter, okay? And this is not the first time that Yang has been attacked by the left in terms of his support for Israel. It's not the first time, okay? They've come after him a lot for this, right? But at the end of the day, his opinions really don't matter, right? I mean, it really comes down to Biden and his foreign policy staff in regards to what their opinions are. And the right has been very critical of Biden for sending more support and aid to the Palestinians. So this is a complicated conflict, guys. And like I said, the point of this video is just to show how, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, right? People are going to be upset in regards to this conflict. People feel super passionate about this subject. But, in general, I think Yang has really been getting the Trump treatment from the left in regards to the New York City race, as they really do not want him to win. They just don't want him to win. And this tweet right here from him, really was a smoking gun, right? For them to really go after him hard. And, my advice to Yang is this. Obviously, he probably tweeted this because he wants the Jewish support in New York City, right? He understands that that's important. That's probably the primary reason why he tweeted it. But he has to understand that there's no need to apologize to the mob, right? Once you apologize, it makes it look like you're tucking your tail between your legs and you're folding to the mob, right? If you believe what you believe, then you just believe what you believe, right? It's no need to apologize for it, because otherwise you're just going to look soft, right? You're going to look soft. So we'll see how this mayor race shapes out, and we'll see how this current conflict in the Middle East shapes out. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.